Hello, everyone, and welcome to my first Topic Time interview in September of 2025. Topic Time with Harrison Young, that's me. I'm the host as I roll now after my 15th anniversary back on August 18th into my 16th year, and I have a wonderful guest today. She was in New Hampshire, now she's in a little western part of Massachusetts, so we're going to interview her in a minute. But before we get to her, I'm going to read these incredible underwriters, and then we will commence with the interview per usual. So, we have the Wareham House of Pizza in Wareham. We have Tom Otto in Middleborough. We have Countertops Express in North Attleboro, experts in the installation and removal of quartz and granite. We have the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We have New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We have Kingston Auto Body in Kingston. We have Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. And we have DNS Auto Works and Collision Specialists in Abington, right up the road here on Route 58. I want to thank you guys very much. And now, Rosie and Andlauer, is that how you say it? I know I asked you a minute ago.
Rosie Andlauer.
Andlauer. Okay, close. Okay. It almost sounds like the comedy team, Rosie and Andlauer, but I know that's not.
Right.
I had to think of that. I always think of stuff like that. That's what I do. Okay. All right, Rosie. Now, we talked a while ago about getting you on the show, and then it didn't happen. You had some issues with somebody. I had a friend that wasn't doing well. But now we're back now. As I read, what I do with every guest is I try to profile them by first doing a little research on your Facebook page. Sometimes they lie on Facebook. That's okay. But I sense that, you wrote something about being a tattoo artist. Is that right?
Yes, I'm a tattoo artist and body piercer at Bang Bang Body Arts in Northampton.
Okay, see that? Well, see, that's why I do this, because in this case, you're telling the total truth about it. So I guess we're going to classify this as an artist interview, because that's what you are.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. And you're still doing that, right? Because now I noticed you said something like, I don't do it. I haven't been doing what I've done in a while, but you're still a tattoo artist and body piercer, right?
Yes, I'm working full time as a tattoo artist and piercer.
Okay, now did you move? Now you said you're in Northampton, Mass. You were in New Hampshire before. Now you're closer. Were you working at the same location even though you were in New Hampshire before?
No, when I was in New Hampshire, I owned my own shop. I've owned my own tattoo shops for about 30 years. And then I sold my house a while back and moved to Massachusetts to be closer to family.
Yep.
And I decided not to open up another shop at this point in life and found this wonderful shop in Northampton. And I got a job there and I love it.
Okay, so you went from being self-employed to work for someone else, but being okay with it. And that's great.
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, let them handle the workers' comp stuff if necessary.
Exactly.
Well, all right. Well, what I do with every guest is I try to profile their situation going back to like childhood too. So tell me, and we'll talk about, you mentioned you had some other things going on, and we'll talk about all that too. Tell me what you were like as a kid, where you grew up, what did you aspire to, and if I have any questions pertaining to that, I'll throw them in. Go ahead.
Okay, I actually grew up in Massachusetts, and more closer to the Worcester area.
Okay.
And I owned a tattoo shop there for numerous years, which my son still owns to this day. And so I've always been an artist and involved in body art and that kind of thing. I've also always modeled on and off since I was in my early 20s. A funny little note, one of my very first modeling jobs was with Tiny Tim, if you remember the song Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Wow.
Yes. That was one of my first modeling jobs back when I was, maybe 23, 24 years old.
Hold on. Now, look. We got to establish a couple things. First of all, Tiny Tim was big in 1968. I didn't even think you don't even look like you were born then. But I guess.
I'm a lot older than you think.
Okay. Well, I'm almost 66. I'm guessing you're in that range. I don't know, but.
I'm 63.
Okay. All right. You're about my brother's age. Okay. Yeah. You're in the range. All right. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, when you were 23, what was now Tiny Tim was famous for that song, but you're talking saying
It was a bit years later when he was doing smaller little local things, and I had a job with him in Connecticut.
Was he from the area originally, from Massachusetts or New England?
Honestly, I don't know. It
Okay.
wasn't the most pleasant experience.
It wasn't really. Well, I want to talk about it
No.
anyway because you piqued my curiosity. I've always been a fan of that song. I used to go around singing it back when I was in fourth grade. We're,
Yeah.
we're talking, like I said, 1968. Wow.
Yeah.
And
Well, I don't want to say anything bad about anyone, especially since someone that's passed, but it was just
yeah,
a little creepy feeling.
all right,
But that
well,
was the start to my modeling career.
it was. All right. Well, tell me about how that got started. How did you end up mingling with Mr. Tiny Tim?
Through a modeling agency I was with back in those days and did that and a few other small things. And then I took quite a few years off and raised my son and started my business and concentrated on that. And then a few years ago, actually, it was during COVID,
Yeah, yeah.
I had an opportunity to go to New York for Fashion Week.
Okay.
And I did that, and that kind of reignited the flames of wanting to model.
Wow.
And so I started doing some fashion modeling and fitness modeling. I did a lot of print magazines and things like that. And then I was offered a small role in a local indie movie in the area.
Okay.
And then I've had quite a few others since then. I've done
Hold on, hold on,
probably
hold on.
maybe
Like,
10 or 12.
are you currently acting in any films today? Will be soon or
Well,
something?
next week I'm doing a small role for Cheerleader Elimination Camp is the name of the movie.
Okay.
Will Colazzo is the director, and I've
Lovely,
got a
man.
small role in that I'll be filming next week.
Okay.
So I still dabble a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Um, Another movie I did up in northern Maine, Skullcracker. Rich Scarano is the director of that. He mentioned recently that they may want my husband and myself to do another scene in that. We've already done a couple.
Tell me a little
Um,
about that movie. I like the title.
I love the title of that one, Skullcracker. It's a comedy. It's a mafia comedy.
Okay.
I don't want to give too much
Oh yeah, yeah,
away,
of
but
course.
I play kind of a conniving,
Young good
sneaky
pal, right?
mafia wife girlfriend type of character.
Oh, kind of like Edie on The Sopranos. I can't think of the last name.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, something like that.
Okay, got it. You look like a perfect fit for that role. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it was a lot of fun and a great crew up there in Maine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's great. Well, I did a film in Maine myself. There's a director up there named Bill McLean. I don't know if you know him. He owns a film
I
company called
don't.
Freight Train Productions. He's good friends with Alice Cooper, the singer, and I'm sure you probably know who that is.
Oh, well, of course.
Yeah. All right. I don't know how he made friends with Alice Cooper, but he's friends with him, so I've seen that on Facebook. All right. Okay. So I'm still when you work, if you don't want to, I know you said it was creepy, but if you don't want to elaborate on the Tiny Tim experience, that's fine. We'll move on to something else. But I am
It
curious.
wasn't like anything he really did. There's no big drama story. It was just,
Well, what exactly?
he wasn't one to really shower often, I don't
Oh,
think. And I had to be really close to him, especially for the photos.
okay. Yeah.
And so he put his arm around me, and it was just kind of a little bit uncomfortable. And he
Okay.
was making some comments and stuff like that. And I was just kind of,
Oh, okay.
but it didn't dissuade me. I continued modeling.
Oh, good. I get no. That's fascinating. Okay. Was it
Yeah.
for, was it for a magazine? Was it for a film? Was it for an
No, it was
album?
actually for a business opening that he was doing an appearance at, and they hired me as the model to like walk out while he was playing
Okay.
Tiptoe Through the Tulips.
Okay, in Connecticut. Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Well, okay, that's one.
But
That's one.
it was an interesting start to a modeling career, though.
Yeah, wants your career. And look how long you want to. I'm just curious. How long you were 23? So it was probably. I'm guessing probably in the late 80s, right?
Yes.
Mid 80s.
Mid 80s, I
Mid
think.
80s. Okay. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of what. You've done a lot of stuff in modeling since then too, obviously, because that was.
Yes. Well, I took many, many years off, and then I went back to it maybe 4 years ago.
That's fantastic, especially someone over 60. Nothing wrong with that. To be a,
Yeah, there's actually a call for older models these days that many years ago would have been very frowned upon, but things have changed. We are aging differently.
Yep, we sure
And,
are.
there are many companies that want to advertise their clothing or their makeup or products to the older crowd. So, yeah, there's a lot of call for older models and also for older actors.
Well, sure, yeah, they hey, listen, it shows that we're all living longer. Have you ever done anything else? Have you ever done any music? Played, sang, danced? I mean,
Dancing is my favorite thing in the whole world to do, but not professionally. I just love to dance, but I'm talking just going out to the nightclub and dancing.
okay.
I did have a really cool experience once, though. I got to dance on stage with BB King's daughter
Wow. Okay.
at Tupelo Music Hall in New Hampshire. So that was a wonderful experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever done music at all? Like sang, played an instrument?
No,
Okay.
no. My husband plays the guitar, but I don't.
Well, I'm glad I asked because if he wants to be a guest on my show, maybe we can get him on and he can perform.
Maybe. Yeah. I don't, he's done a couple movies with me as well.
Wait, okay. He sounds like he'd be a killer guest. I mean, we'll talk about that. If he sees this interview and
Sure.
you give him my digits, we'll get him on. That would be fantastic.
Sure.
But that's okay. That's great. All right. How about like sports? You ever sport? I mean, you could have been a cheerleader. Were you ever a cheerleader when you were in school?
I was not. I'm not a big sports person.
All right. Okay.
The hard part about that is I have two granddaughters that are extremely sports oriented,
Okay.
especially their softball. I think right now they're in field hockey,
Okay.
but they're very sports oriented, but I am not. So when I go to their games, I'm one of those people that like claps when everybody else does because I don't know what's going on.
Still supporting them. That's all that matters.
Right, exactly.
Oh, I guess they're in high school, right?
They are. They're 13 and 15.
Oh, okay, they're in high school, middle school. Did you ever
Yeah.
go to college, and if so, where? And what did you major in? If not, so then.
I've taken classes at a variety of a few different colleges in the Worcester area. I took some classes at Quincy. I took some classes at Worcester State, and I took some classes at Salter Secretarial School. They're just classes for like business and things like that that helped me to run my business that I owned for 30 years.
Been home for 30 years. When you
Yeah.
when you left your business, did you sell it to someone else, or did you just abandon it?
No, I owned Miraculous Creations in Worcester for 26 years, and then I gave it to my son, and he still owns it to this day.
Okay.
That's a tattoo and piercing shop in Worcester, so he still owns that. And then after I gave it to him, I moved to New Hampshire and opened up a studio there.
Well,
And I
that's
worked.
what I'm asking about. What's up with that one now? Is it still running or not?
The one in New Hampshire, no, that was just me by myself, just a private studio. So I closed that when I sold my house and moved here
Okay.
and started working in Northampton.
Now let me ask you this: Have you ever? Now I know. I'm wondering if somehow you combine your tattoo artistry and your body piercing with films. In other words, have you ever made anyone up with tattoos for a film at all?
I have actually. I did temporary tattoos on a character in the Christmas Invitation movie. There was a scene with like a drunk Santa,
Okay.
and he was short sleeved and had some tattoos on him, and so I drew them on with temporary markers.
Okay. Oh, I see. All right. I guess that's certainly you're not gonna. I'm kind of thinking from what you're telling me. It sounds like your whole family likes getting under people's skin. Get it?
I have not had the opportunity to do an actual tattoo in a movie, though. That's an idea. I'll have to
I
try to
always try
throw
to
that
get-
out there to the universe. Maybe something will come along.
I always try to give ideas to my guests that could behoove them down the line. So
Yeah,
I brought it
that
up.
would be fun, actually.
It would be fun. Do you have it? Now, are you on? Is your name on IMDb at all? You know what IMDb is? The database.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I have an account on IMDb. I had a pro account for quite a few years.
I know,
I don't think I've kept it up, so it's just a regular account now. But yes, if you look me up on Google or anything like that, the IMDb account comes up.
Okay, perfect. So in other words, we can find you like on that. And I'm sure
Yeah.
probably get a lot of credits on that. You must have probably, at least, I'm guessing a couple of dozen at least, right?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have probably about a dozen or so movies I'm associated with in some form or another. I've done a little bit of voice acting, so I
You like,
have one or
like
two
animation?
voice roles. Not animated movies, no, they're regular movies where it's just like a voice.
Narration?
Um, like voices in the background. I think like one of them was a bowling alley or
Oh,
something
okay.
where I was the voice that
Hey, you
announces
dropped
that
the
the
ball. I'm like,
lane's
what? What's the
ready.
matter with you, right? Was that your voice? I thought I heard.
No. And then I've had a few movies where it's my picture that's featured on like like when you're watching a movie, for example, where there's like a police scene or something, and there might be pictures of victims or
Oh, yeah,
something
yeah.
like that. I've
Okay.
done that. Um, Oh, I have another interesting one. I almost forgot about it. That's coming up. It's not out yet, but should be out in the coming 6 months or so, I'd say. And that one, I actually play I'm like three or four different dead people,
Oh, man.
and that's for Fallout Highwayman,
Okay.
and an indie film that someone's like a fan film, and I'm in different outfits and my face is covered with the headgear and things like that, so you can't tell it's me, but I do a few different
And the content around
scenes.
your body, too?
No, no, it's in like one of those scenes, futuristic
Oh, okay.
post-apocalyptic scenes where my body's laying around.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, interesting. I saw what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've done films like that too. Okay. Haven't been in a major film. I'm just because, like if it like there's all now around New England in the last 20, 30 years, there's been opportunities to appear and start, stuff with like the Wahlbergs and like I was in
Right,
Sean.
a lot's been going on in Boston.
That's right. So have you ever done anything like that? And if not, are you looking to possibly do something? I think they're shooting a film right now in Boston.
I don't know. I really just do the small indie films.
Okay.
Probably because I'm still working full time, so I don't have, tons of time to dedicate to major roles and memorizing lines and all that. Maybe if I keep going after I retire from the body art, I might get into some bigger roles, but for now, I'm honestly content just doing small things. It's more of a hobby. I
Right.
enjoy it. It's fun.
It's fun. You're making money doing this other. All right. What about ever written anything? Scripts, short stories,
Mm.
poetry?
No, no, I'm
Okay.
not a writer.
Not a writer. You wouldn't consider. Okay. I was just thinking, someone that's, I mean, I'm guessing you get a lot of ideas rolling around in your head, especially given all the stuff you've done.
I do.
Yeah, you might want to, jot some ideas down and maybe, go forward with them a little bit. That's another idea I'm trying to see, try to instill. It's up to you. Yeah,
Possibly. You never know what life's going to bring.
right. You never know. You never know how creative you can be. You know what I would suggest to anybody, if you have a chance, I mean, we all can do it. If at some time in your life, if you haven't done it, take a creative writing course somewhere at a college, even if, a night course or something. Because you'd be
Yeah.
amazed. Number one, you'd be amazed how creative people can be, bouncing ideas off each other, basically, writing stories. I wrote a book of short stories in the 90s, and the year before that, before I started writing it, I took a course with the guy that years later would publish the book at Bridgewater State University, which is a college around here. You probably heard of it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and I did pretty well. I sold a bunch of copies, got a little TV news coverage. The show was
Oh,
my
awesome.
baby, but I'm just saying. And what happens is if you take a writer's course, a creative writing course, I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll find, number one, like
Yeah.
other people's work will inspire you, and number two, you'll think, hey, I can do that too. I've been inspired by a lot of writers. I'm lucky that my parents are both scholarly people, and they've always had a big library with lots of books that I would just pick up
Yeah.
and read stories from. And I just decided to try it myself. And I did it for years, and finally I created a book. It took me until my 30s to finally actually do it.
Oh, that's awesome, though. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I know, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I'm just suggesting at some point, look at your local college, see if they have, there's always a creative writing course available.
Yeah. Well, I don't rule anything out. That's one
Right.
thing I've learned in my life is, you never know what turns life is going to take and what opportunities are going to come along. So I always keep my mind open to everything. Oh,
What?
I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
One of my new things that I am very seriously considering is I'm thinking about running for Miss Senior Massachusetts in 2026.
Good. I'll vote for you if I can. I don't know where I'm
Oh,
going.
thank you.
We
Yeah,
don't
I
call you senior
actually
yet.
was messaging with them today,
Okay.
and I think I'm going to do it.
Where are they holding it? Holding it.
I'm not sure. I know last year's was in Holyoke,
Okay. Not too
and
far from here.
that's a half-hour drive from me. So I think that it'll probably be in the same place next year. I think they do it the same place every year. So that would be so easy for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. But when you do tattoo work, do you you're working for someone else, but when you had your own shop, did you have a lot of people working for you, or did you pretty much do it all yourself, or you couldn't? Or did you have a small?
When I owned the shop in Worcester, that's a big one. So I had
Oh,
multiple artists, multiple piercers, receptionists. I had about a dozen people or so that worked for me.
that's the store your son now owns, right?
Yes.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
then when I moved to New Hampshire and I opened my shop there, it was just a private shop for myself and it was appointment only.
Okay.
So I didn't have any staff at all. I would just go in, open up for my customer and then go home when I was done. And it was right up the street from my house. So that
No,
was pretty convenient.
you did that for like 30 years in New Hampshire, right?
No, New Hampshire, I was only doing that for a few years.
Okay.
I
Well,
was in Worcester for most of the time.
Austin Worcester. Okay, the big one. All right. Well, Rosie, guess what? We're in the final 5 minutes of the show. I hope you had fun talking to me.
I did. It was great.
Okay, so here's what I want you to do in the remaining time. I want you to give some shouts out to people that are going to see the show. Just condense them. You can start with your family, your husband, your son, friends.
Okay. Well, my husband, Phil, is my rock. He keeps me grounded and steady and focused on everything I'm doing. We've been together 21 years, so definitely have to say hi to him. My son, Jesse, only child, so obviously he's, the light of my life. And
Yep.
my daughter-in-law, Kate, and my two beautiful angel granddaughters, Olivia and Violet. And I'd love to send a shout out to Bang Bang Body Arts in Northampton. I have a wonderful boss, Tiffany, and fabulous coworkers. I won't name them all, but they're all wonderful people, and we're like a big family, and they've really made me feel welcome. So I love it there very much.
Okay.
And that's about it.
Okay. Well, I had a great time talking to you. If you have any of those people you think might be a good guest for my show, including your husband, as we discussed, give them my digits.
Okay.
We'll get them on. I'm an open book as far as getting people on the show and having
That
content.
sounds great.
Okay. Is there anything?
All right.
You told me about seeing Miss Senior Massachusetts, but is there anything coming up on the horizon in addition to that you want to mention real quick before we wrap it up? If not, that's fine. I just want to double check so we make sure.
I don't think so. I think the possible new scene in Skullcracker, and then next week doing cheerleader elimination camp, and the possible, pageant is going to keep me pretty busy. So
All right.
that's about it.
Well, I got one last favor to ask. We're going to wrap the show up in a minute. Will you stick around? And my tech guy will take a pic for Facebook and I'll tag you in it. And you can tag me if you want.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me. It was an honor.
Thank you. It was an honor for me, too. All right, folks, going to wrap up another great Topic Time episode. Signing off and rolling out, and more great shows to follow. Just got to get this boombox working correctly. There we go.